I started with I started with climatology. I even shared the new notes also. You can just check. Okay, just we'll go back once again, and then we'll just go through anything. Okay. Hey, Shailja, you have to allow me to share the screen, I think.
Already shared, allowed.
Okay. Let me see. Ah. So these are all the things we have done pressure. Can you all see the screen, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. So we were all doing about these pressure belts. What are the various pressure belts? This actually is there in seventh class also. You have ninth also. You have both in CBSE. If you are doing CBSE syllabus, most of you must be knowing Sneha and all. You must be knowing this. You all have this that diagram. You remember that circle one diagram and then we draw the diagram. This is the one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you must be having this idea as to how this particular entire. I have sent the notes. You can go through the entire notes also. So I was actually doing this only. So atmospheric circulation, I did. ITCZ, that is intertropical convergent zone, I did. Then I was talking about Ferrell's law, and then we talked about general atmosphere, then winds and planetary. Today I'll start with winds. Okay, just this part I will explain once again. The general atmospheric circulation and its effects on oceans. That is, a general circulation of the atmosphere influences the oceans, as I told you. Warming and cooling of the Pacific Ocean are the most significant in terms of general atmospheric circulation. The entire climatic conditions in the world will depend upon the Pacific Ocean. It is a warm current or a cold current. Accordingly, the entire situation will change. The warm water of the Central Pacific Ocean gradually drifts towards the South American coast and substitutes the cool Peruvian current. This is one of the important features for Indian monsoon. Okay. Such presence of warm water off the coast of Peru is known as the El Nino. If this is there, we don't get rainfall. El Nino effect, we call it as. The El Nino is associated with pressure variations in Australia and the Central Pacific. This variation in pressure conditions over the Pacific is also known as the Southern Oscillation. Please remember SC. It is called as SC. SC means we call it a Southern Oscillation. That means the variation in pressure conditions over the Pacific Ocean is known as a Southern Oscillation. The combined phenomenon of El Nino and Southern Oscillation is known as ENSO. This is what you will learn in your ninth class. All this is there in ninth class. Yeah, ninth class CBSE textbook. If you want, you can refer that. That chapter is climate. The entire concept is there in that only. Okay. Then next we'll talk about winds and planetary winds. Now the moving mass of air from the high pressure areas to the low pressure areas are known as winds. Like I was talking in the last class also. These are all certain general rules, like how you have your formulas in maths and science. In geography also, there are certain conditions. That means as we move up, the pressure will decrease, and that is the reason why we carry oxygen. Same way, air always move from a high pressure areas to the low pressure areas. So the moving mass of air from high pressure areas to the low pressure areas are known as winds. In other words, the horizontal movement of air that is caused by heating by the sun and rotation of the earth on its own axis is known as wind. Remember, horizontal movement. Vertical is this, horizontal is this. If the air is moving like this, then you call it as the wind. So what are the different types of winds you have? Planetary winds, trade winds, westerlies, periodic winds, local winds. And again, the periodic winds are again classified. That means first you remember these are the types of winds. Planetary winds, trade winds, westerlies, periodic winds, and local winds. And again, the periodic winds are again classified into monsoon winds, land breezes, sea breezes, mountain and valley breezes. These are all the important winds which will be causing differences in your weather conditions. Planetary winds. Planetary winds comprise winds distributed throughout the lower atmosphere. They blow regularly throughout the year, confined within the latitudinal belts, mainly in the northeast and the southeast directions, or from high pressure polar regions to low pressure pressure regions. You have to remember that these are the winds which will be distributed in the lower atmosphere. That is first point. Second point is that they will be blowing throughout the year in their respective latitudes only. They don't move. in their only respective latitudes, they will be blowing. That means in which direction? In northeast and southeast directions. You always remember the directions, northeast and southeast directions, or from the high pressure to the low pressure areas. These are called as the planetary winds. Clear with this, planetary winds? Because in MCQs, they will be asking this only. Now you must be knowing how they must be asking the MCQs. Yes? Sneha and Yashwini?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now you know how they will be asking. So remember that. These are the points which you remember. So where do they blow? They blow between northeast and southeast directions. What are trade winds? These winds are also known as tropical easterlies and blow from the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere due to Coriolis effect and the Ferrel's law. Now, this is one law which you have to remember. What is Ferrel's law? Is that according to the Ferrel's law, these winds are deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This is what you call it as Ferrel's law. Am I clear? They start blowing from the subtropical high pressure areas towards the equatorial low pressure belt, and in the northern hemisphere they blow as northeastern trade winds, and in the southern hemisphere they blow as southeastern trade winds. So I'll again go back once again to the diagram which you can see how they will be blowing. So they will be blowing from the subtropical high pressure belt to the equatorial low pressure belt. These are called as the trade winds. Am I clear? And they will be deflected to which direction? Let me see how much you have got immediately. They will be deflected to?
Northeast.
No. The winds are directed towards right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Remember this right and left. Right is north, left is southern. Why does it happen? It is because of the Ferrel's law. They get deflected. Okay. And in the northern hemisphere, they are blowing as northeastern trade winds, and in the southern hemisphere, they are blowing as southeastern trade winds. Am I clear? Westerlies. These winds are also called as shrieking 60s, furious 50s, and roaring 40s. These are the different names that are given to them. I'll repeat once again. They are also known as shrieking 60s, furious 50s, and roaring 40s. They blow from the subtropical high pressure belts towards the subpolar low pressure belts. The westerlies of southern hemisphere are stronger and constant than the westerlies of the northern hemisphere. So they will roar, they are very strong, and they also give a lot of, sometimes they give rain, sometimes they cause cold effect also. Am I clear? I'll repeat once again. They are also known as shrieking 60s, furious 50s, and roaring 40s. So you can understand how strong they are and the names given to them. Then comes periodic winds. These winds change their direction periodically as there is a change in the seasons. What are the two types of monsoons we have in our country? What are the two monsoons we have in our country? Children, speak up. I'm asking a question. Yashwini and Sneha, Charan, what are the two types of monsoons we have India receives? You know or you don't know? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, children? Sneha, Yashwini, Charan? Hello?
Ma'am, southwest monsoon and north.
Very good. Southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon. Which monsoon is going on now?
Northeast.
Very good. Northeast. That means southwest monsoon covers entire India. Northeast monsoon covers only which state? Covers only Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu and the Carnatic coast will receive rainfall only from the northeast monsoon, and during the southwest monsoon, Tamil Nadu is the only state which is not covered by the southwest monsoon. That is why they are called as periodic winds, because there is a change in the seasons. So you can see monsoon winds The temperature difference created by the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and the Himalayan wall forms the basis of monsoon in the subcontinent. So as I told you that in June to September, we have the southwest monsoon, and from October to almost till January, we have the northeast monsoon. That is the reason why we receive rainfall, we get cyclones. Actually, what is the difference between southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon is in southwest monsoon, you get normal rainfall where the entire country requires. That means annual rainfall, annual precipitation. If the rainfall is normal, crops are normal and everything is normal. But in northeast monsoon, they are mostly accompanied by cyclones and depressions. You find number of cyclones from November to January. If you take, you have number of cyclones. Recently, only the Andhra had one cyclone, and there was one more cyclone also, but fortunately, it weakened into a depression. The Jawad cyclone, we call it as. Okay. Then you have monsoon winds, which how are they caused? Is that it is because of the temperature difference which is created by the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and the Himalayan wall. Then you have the land breeze. These winds blow from land to sea carrying no moisture but dry and warm. That means they are blowing from where to where? Land to sea. When they are moving from land to sea, they will be dry because you don't have any moisture. Whereas the winds which are blowing from sea to land, what will happen? They carry moisture because the wind is coming from the sea. Mountain and valley breeze. Valley breeze is the hot air blowing from the valley which flows up the slopes of the mountain hills. In contrast, mountain breeze is the valley breeze, that is cold air when the mountain flow towards the valleys. You must be knowing valleys and the mountains. So if it is blowing from valley to mountain, it is warmer, and if it is blowing from the mountains to the valley, it is the cold air. Remember, these are the breezes you call it as. Am I clear? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And land breeze. What is land breeze? It is a wind that flows from land towards the sea. It flows often at night. Sea breeze, it blows towards land from the direction of a large water body. Sea breeze develops due to differences in air pressure created with the differing heat capacities of water and dry land. So sea breeze is always blowing towards the land from the water body. What is anabatic winds? These winds are upslope winds driven by warmer surface temperatures or a mountain slope than the surrounding air column. So when the temperature is very high, these winds are caused, which are called as anabatic winds. Then you have katabatic winds. Katabatic winds are downslope winds created where the mountain surface is colder than the surrounding air and creates a downslope wind. So when there is a change in the difference in the temperatures, you have anabatic and katabatic winds. These two are also important winds that are caused. So these are all the various names of the winds. Then what is a cyclone? Cyclones are rapid inward air circulation around a low pressure area. How many of you have seen a cyclone? What do you mean by a cyclone, and why it is caused actually? You must be having some idea about a cyclone. There is a circular thing that is formed in the wind, yeah, in the oceans or in the rivers, especially in the Bay of Bengal. How do these climatologists say that there is a cyclone? Is that when there is a circular form of thing? You must have seen that circle which forms, yeah, in the mountains. That is called as a cyclone. Okay, it is a rapid inward air circulation around a low pressure area. The air circulates in an anti-clockwise direction in northern hemisphere and clockwise in the northern hemisphere. They are usually accompanied by violent storms and bad weather. I don't know how many people stay near these areas. You must have noticed at least what are cyclones. Hello? Now, when we talk about a cyclone, the meteorologists, they say that the winds will be reaching a speed of 50 to 50 kilometers per hour or 80 kilometers per hour. It is nothing but it is a violent storm. So when a cyclone occurs, what will happen is that the wind velocity will be very high, and by which they will be uprooting the trees, and even sometimes you can see that the destruction that is caused by the cyclones. You must have seen, experienced at least, children. Yeah? Say yes or no, children, then I can continue. You have to answer in the class. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So cyclones are usually accompanied by violent storms and bad weather. You all know that the weather, how it will be. Usually the adjoining areas also will be experiencing, not only those areas which are having cyclone, but the surrounding areas also will be facing a problem also. The word cyclone is derived from the Greek word cyclos, meaning the coils of the snake. That means how the snake will be doing. It is called as the coils of the snake. It was coined by Henry Paddington because the tropical storms in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea appear like coiled serpents of the sea. You all know that when the snake tries to go inside its own hole or something, it will turn itself and will be like a, what do you call it, as a rounded circle like thing. So that is the reason why. Why did he coin that? Is it because he felt that the tropical storms which occur in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, they appear like coiled serpents of the sea. Coiled means you all know that the coils of the wire and all that. This you will be learning in your science. Yeah, that is a circle. How do you circle the wire? That is called as coiled serpents of the sea. Clear? So what are the two types of cyclones we have? We have tropical cyclones, extratropical cyclones, which are also called as temperate cyclones or middle latitude cyclones or frontal cyclones. All these not required. You just remember tropical cyclones. The World Meteorological Organization uses the term tropical cyclone to cover weather systems in which wind exceeds gale force minimum of 63 kilometers per hour. That means if your wind velocity is more than 63 kilometers per hour, it is classified or it is called as a tropical cyclone. Clear? Huh. Where do they occur? The tropical cyclones develop in the region between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer. You know both the tropics which are there. They are large-scale weather systems developing over tropical or subtropical waters where they get organized to surface wind circulation. So first thing you remember that where do tropical cyclones occur? Tropical cyclones occur between the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer. Extratropical cyclones occur in temperate zones and high latitude regions, though they are known to originate in the polar regions. So we are not concerned about extratropical cyclones because they will be occurring in the temperate zones and high latitude. That means in the polar regions above the Tropic of Capricorn or the Tropic of Cancer. So what are tropical cyclones? Tropical cyclones are violent storms that originate over the oceans in tropical areas and move over to the coastal areas, bringing about large-scale destruction caused by violent winds, very heavy rainfall, and storm surges. So in our country, we find that a large number of cyclones are occurring in the Bay of Bengal. The Arabian Sea will be less. It is more calmer than compared to Bay of Bengal because Bay of Bengal, a number of cyclones occur. They originate in the oceans and then they move to the coastal areas and cause a lot of destruction. That is the reason why Andhra, or you talk about Odisha, or you talk about West Bengal, and these are all the areas which always face the cyclones because they are located near the oceans. Am I clear? The entire Bay of Bengal route, if you take, for example, Andhra Pradesh mainly will be facing, followed by Odisha and followed by West Bengal. Usually it starts from Bay of Bengal. From Andhra, it starts and goes to Odisha, and sometimes it crosses the coast near West Bengal. You must be knowing that entire direction, right, children? Yes? Yeah. Tropical cyclones are one of the most devastating natural calamities in the world. Tropical cyclones originate and intensify over warm tropical oceans, and the conditions favorable are large sea surface with temperature higher than 27 degrees, presence of the Coriolis force, that is the winds getting deflected towards the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Small variations in the vertical wind speed, a pre-existing weak low pressure area. They always say, no, you must be listening in the news that a low pressure area is formed in the Bay of Bengal and it may intensify and form into a cyclone. These are all the things. That means the meteorologists can study that and can predict that a cyclone can occur. Okay. Next one is western disturbance. Western disturbance is a common with a weather phenomenon in India. A western disturbance in extratropical cyclone originating in the Mediterranean region that brings sudden winter rain to the northern west, northwestern parts of the Indian subcontinent. So when the rains are occurring now, especially now, that means it is because of the cyclone which is originating in the Mediterranean region. Southwest is Pacific Ocean, northeast is mainly Mediterranean region. They are the cause of the most winter and pre-monsoon season rainfall across northwest India, such as Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, and western Uttar Pradesh. It is all usually associated with cloudy sky, higher night temperatures, and unusual rain. That means these are all called as western disturbances cause winter rainfall. This precipitation during the winter season has great importance in agriculture, particularly for rabi crops, including the wheat. Actually, when we talk about this winter rains in the northern parts of India, it is very important because during the time of rabi crops, you all know that rabi season is there. What are the three crop seasons we have in India?
Rabi, Kharif, and Zain.
Very good. Rabi, Kharif, and Zaid. Kharif is in June to September, that is the southwest monsoon. Now you have the Rabi season. So for Rabi season, this precipitation is very important. Without this rainfall, it is not possible for them to grow the crops also. It is estimated that India gets close to 5 to 10% of its total rainfall from western disturbances. That's what I told you. Some rainfall we receive during this season also. Temperate cyclones are also called as extra tropical cyclones or simply depressions or atmospheric disturbances having low pressure in the center and increasing pressure outward. The convergence of the cold front and warm front in the temperate latitude cyclones conducive to the development of mid-latitude cyclones. That means it is the combination of cold and warm. When two winds come together, which are the two winds, warm and the cold, when they converge means meet at a particular place, it results in something called as a temperate cyclones. The development and strengthening of mid-latitude where cyclone is known as cyclogenesis. That means the development and strengthening of a mid-latitude where cyclone is known as cyclogenesis. What this is the definition you should learn. Okay, they move counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Okay, I don't think they will ask you all this, but still I'll go through. The temperate cyclone motion is generated by the pressure gradient force, the Coriolis force, and the surface friction force. The temperate cyclone takes 3 to 10 days to complete its cycle from birth, maturity, and death. So that is the reason why sometimes you have longer cyclone extending for long time also. That's why they say that the meteorologists say that the cyclone has been weakened into a depression and then it will wane out slowly, it will become weak. When it becomes weak, only the temperature or the rainfall will come down, otherwise the destruction will be very high. The temperature difference between the warm rising and the cooler environment lead to the rise of air to become buoyant and then move. Okay, this is all not required. The whole system of clouds and wind spins and goes spread by the ocean's heat and water evaporating. Okay. There are 6 factors responsible for the formation of the cyclone. So this you have to remember. What are the factors that are essential for the formation of cyclone? How does a cyclone actually occur in the Bay of Bengal? How does it occur? Sufficient warm temperature at sea surface. That means the temperature should be quite high. Second thing is that atmospheric instability. That means there is some disturbance over there. Okay. Impact area of Coriolis force so that low pressure can be developed. First and foremost is that a low pressure should be developed. High humidity in the lower to middle levels of the troposphere, a pre-existing low-level focus of disturbance and low vertical wind. Some of the features are needed unless and until these two you remember: sufficient warm temperature at sea surface, impact area of Coriolis force. Very important is the Coriolis effect. That is the wind getting deflected to right in the northern hemisphere and left in the southern hemisphere. Children, when I ask you this question, what is Coriolis effect or Ferrell's law, is that it says that the winds get deflected to quickly which direction?
Right.
Right in the north and left in the south. This
South.
you please keep it in your mind. Very important it is. You need not refer to any book. That is Ferrell's law and Coriolis effect. Because of the Coriolis effect, the winds get deflected to right in the northern hemisphere and the left in the southern hemisphere. Keep it in your mind. It is geography. Okay. Next, you have jet streams. The jet streams is a geostrophic wind blowing horizontally through the upper layers of the troposphere, generally from west to east at an altitude of 20,000 to 50,000 feet. These are just jet streams. They develop where air masses of differing temperatures meet. Differing temperatures is warm and cold. So usually surface temperatures determine where the jet stream will form. Greater the difference in temperature, faster is the wind velocity inside the jet stream. Jet streams extend from 20 degrees latitude to the poles in both the hemisphere. From 20 degrees it starts. The genesis of jet streams is provided by three types of gradients: thermal gradient between pole and equator, pressure gradient between pole and equator, pressure gradient between surface and subsurface area. Thermal gradient is where the temperature is very high. At times, jet streams bring about some moisture to the stratosphere, leading to the formation of noctilucent clouds. That means cloud-like phenomena in the atmosphere, which are made of ice crystals visible in the deep twilight. That means you can talk about, I think, fog and mist. You must be seeing in that crystal form of thing, which you can see a sheet of layer of ice. That is one form of precipitation. So wherever jet streams are there, the precipitation will be in this manner. Okay. It plays a significant role in the onset and withdrawal of the monsoon winds. So if the monsoon winds have to arrive, that means the southwest monsoon has to arrive. Also jet stream should be there. If they have to go back, also jet stream should be there. Known to have brought about ozone depleting substances to stratosphere, which result in ozone layer depletion also. Intensifies, okay, when the air mass is moving, it undergoes, okay, fine. Indian monsoon mechanism. Now we'll come to this. I'll just read out these points also. What is it? When the air mass is moving, it undergoes alternate expansion and compression, which means that it is associated with alternative high pressure and low pressure. Indian monsoon mechanism and role of subtropical jet streams. Okay. The southwest monsoon coming in India is related to tropical easterly stream. Things are not required. Now we'll see how is northeast monsoon. Can anyone tell me exactly how many months we will have northeast monsoon? Anyone can tell what is how many months do we have northeast monsoon? Hello.
Ma'am, ma'am, 5.
5. From when to when? Can you tell me the months? It
Ma'am,
starts
November.
November or October? November, I think, because
Ma'am,
October is November.
Ma'am, I think October. If
Actually,
we count
October,
October, then it's 5. Agar
it
4.
depends. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes it starts in October. Sometimes it starts in November. Okay, usually we take it as November, I think.
Ma'am,
Okay.
can we say that January also and then November starting? Sorry,
Yeah,
February starting.
Yes. Some to certain extent, yes, it will go up till February. Okay, because North India will be having the winter season up to February. Okay, then
Yes, ma'am.
March they will start a little shadowing out when their summer usually starts from April. Whereas in South India, we started from the South India starts summer season right from March, I think, or towards the end of February, right? Yeah. So how does it trigger the northwest? That just now I was telling that Jet streams are responsible for the onset and withdrawal of both the monsoon winds. So let us see how does it trigger the northeast monsoon. The westerly jet stream, a cold wind which pushes downwind to the surface, creating high pressure on the surface. Dry winds from this high pressure area, that is northwestern part of India. What is northwestern part of India? Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana. That is what you can take the high pressure area. So the dry winds from this high pressure area start blowing towards the low pressure area. Where is the low pressure area now? The Bay of Bengal. These winds in turn bring cold waves in winter in the northern part of the country, including UP and Bihar. So UP and Bihar will be experiencing winter, whereas one part of India, that is, I told you, Tamil Nadu, Coromandel Coast, Carnatic Coast, these places will be receiving northeast monsoon. So you have to remember now that the dry winds from high pressure area. So where do you find the high pressure area now? Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana. That is the northwestern part of India. They blow towards the low pressure area. Where is the low pressure area now? In the Bay of Bengal. Then these winds also bring cold waves. That is the reason why sometimes in South India also we face lot of cold because of the cold waves that will occur in UP and Bihar. After reaching the Bay of Bengal, westerly under the influence of feral cell take the form of northeast monsoon. They get deflected. That is what I am trying to tell you. Okay. When this wind reaches the coast of Tamil Nadu, it causes rainfall with the humidity received from the Bay of Bengal. That's why I told you that. So when they move towards the Bay of Bengal, they will give heavy rainfall to the Coromandel coast and the Carnatic coast as well as Tamil Nadu also. This is all about climatology. Two parts of climatology. I hope it is clear to you. That is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
pressure winds, the climatic conditions, everything I have explained in this. And you have even your MCQs also along with answers I have given. You can go through all these answers also. Okay. I'll come back to the class. Now you tell me any other doubts you have, because I have done two parts of climatology I have done. So now next week you can tell me which part of lesson you want or which one you want me to take. Any other things you want me to revisit once again, any chapters you want me to tell. Actually, a few more are there. I'll just check what are the other chapters. World geography, we have more. So any chapters you want me to repeat means I will go back once again and then I will continue with the world geography. 1 second. Shailja, are you there, Shailja? Shailja? Is not there, I think. No, I just want to check. Do you have your syllabus? No? UPSC syllabus, do you have anyone? No? Let me check. What is the portion we have? I will tell. We have that portion. 1 second. Let me see what is the portion. Charan, you are the new boy, Charan.
Yes, ma'am.
You are in which class, beta?
5th, ma'am.
5th class. Okay. What topics do you have in 5th class with regard to social?
Ma'am, in social, it is happen about freedom, and that's all, ma'am. Human rights.
Okay, very good. What do you have about geography then?
Geography, it is not there, ma'am.
It's not there for you. Then how will you understand all this? I explained so much. Okay. 1 second, children. Do you know about universe? Then I have done climatology now. Okay, after climatology, I have is hydrosphere. That means the ocean currents, ocean deposits, ocean resources. Maybe next week I will be starting the hydrology. After once I finish hydrosphere, maybe we can go to the other part like universe and constellations and all that we can do, I think. Yeah. I think that is rotation, revolution, latitudes, longitudes. These are all in your lower classes. I think you must be having some idea about latitudes and longitudes. Yes, Neha and where is Yashwini? She left the class. Okay.
Ma'am, I know about longitudes and latitudes.
You must be knowing about longitudes and latitudes, no?
Ma'am.
You know about the galaxy, Milky Way, constellations. Those all will come. Okay. And then you have rotation, revolution, then you have eclipses, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. How do they occur? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
You must be knowing about India and the states. How many states are there? Capitals, all that must be there.
Yes, ma'am.
That is also very important. You should know all that also. Okay. Chalo.
Okay, ma'am.
Shailaja, are you there, Shailaja? She's not there. Okay, any other
Yeah,
doubts?
Shamla.
Yeah. Shailaja, I completed this climatology 2 parts I've done. Okay. The 2 parts I have done. I have even shared the notes also with them. So next period, maybe next class, I will start with hydrosphere. I think some 2 topics are left for me, I think. Then again, I can go back once again to other topics, or if they want something else, I'll check in economics if anything is, because you said somebody is taking with regard to economy and all that, I don't want to repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, economy. Yeah. What do you want to see? If you are finished, you can take up different things in economics also.
That's what. Once I finish geography, then I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Few more topics are there. I'll finish with
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, children. Bye.